Shout out to AMAZN HQ. Just being like the first to do something is always really good because it kind of like opens the floodgates. I feel like hopefully the same thing can happen for like, you know, just Asian people in general. I never got ranked in high school. Offer stuff and rankings is like, it really is meaningless.
Kind of seeing how the NBA works from the inside and almost being a part of it, like you're right there at the doorstep.
M dashes in your writing. Most underrated way to sound smarter. Someone sent me this rug, Demon Slayer. I like Hunter x Hunter. Your Lie in April. Underrated. My favorite Korean food is called pumshikbam. It's like chestnut bread. I imagine myself in those like big situations. I imagine like what the crowd feels like. A lot of people tell me I play like I'm high. Take that how you want.
So inspirational. They're going to watch him and say, hey, I want to pattern my game after Xaivian Lee. Xaivian, it looked like you were feeling it there. You had the tongue wagging, doing a little high stepping when you're launching some of those shots.
I remember he went to play AAU in the Carolinas one summer, and he had shared a story of after one of the games, the coach of the opposing team coming up to him and saying like, oh, good job, Chinaman. When he looked around the gym, he was the only Asian person in the gym.
I mean, I try not to like think about it too much. I mean, if anything, I just kind of try to use it to my advantage because like growing up, they'd always put like the worst defender on me. You gotta play the hand you're dealt almost. Like in basketball sometimes, like it'd be nice to be 6'7" and like jump out the gym, but like majority of people are not like that, like Asian or not. So just finding a way to succeed with what you have or like who you are.
You know, he's not 7 feet tall and looks like a normal kid in most ways. You know, young kids can look up and be like, hey, I can be like this guy. It's a dream in some ways, right? Because at a certain time, you know, he was that 8, 10, 11-year-old who was coming to college basketball games, who was a big fan, who was hoping that, you know, one day he would be in those people's shoes.
People kind of say like, what changed or like, how'd you get so much better or whatever, but even from the earliest ages, like I always believed in myself.
The stereotype of Asian people being shy on the court or in society has really changed a lot. If you just walk into a gym and see how Asian people play basketball nowadays, they're really aggressive sometimes. So I think that has definitely changed a lot. I think we're not afraid to use our voices. We're not afraid to break boundaries. We're not afraid to be a different version of ourselves than others imagine. I actually heard about him the first time because one of my friends from high school sent me a clip that you guys made on Instagram, and it was like, oh, this guy's coming to Princeton, you should really check him out.
My name is Xaivian Lee, I'm 6'3", combo guard, and I'm coming to play Princeton next year. I've been playing basketball since I was a little kid, and I always played with my friends at the AAU level, high school level, and just this year I decided to come here because I'm from Canada to play in America and take my game to the next level. As an Asian hooper, I feel like, you know, there's not many of us, so we get like hit with a lot of stereotypes, and you know, we're usually the only ones on the court, so I like to use that to my advantage if people underestimate me or, you know.
Yes, I was born in the States and then moved to Korea for like 2 years, and then we moved to Toronto. Korean was my first language for a little bit because I didn't speak English until I moved to Toronto. My favorite Korean food is, it's called pumshikbam. It's like chestnut bread. They only sell it, the only place I've ever found it is Galleria, which is like a Korean supermarket. I always get it's like a big loaf, $9, and I always eat all of it.
So when he was about 6 or 7, we signed him up for a 10-session basketball at the local community center. And so that was kind of the start of his basketball journey. And after the first session, at the end, I remember he came up to us and said, you know, I don't want to come back. It's not so comfortable. You know, sometimes we talk about this now. If after the first session we said, oh, you're not comfortable, you don't have to go back. And we pulled him from that because, you know, he wasn't immediately comfortable with the program. how different his life would have been.
Growing up, like I watched Raptors games with like both my parents. I'd like have to go up at halftime and then watch the rest in the morning. DeMar DeRozan was probably like the biggest kind of name and face growing up. And like Fred VanVleet, being an undersized guard, especially when I was like very undersized. Like Jose Calderon was like my favorite point guard when I was like really little. So like my freshman year, my grade 9, I was like pretty short. I was probably like 5'7", 5'8", 5'6". I don't even know how tall I was, but I played on the JV team. And like I didn't really go to a prep school, so it was just like a regular, pretty like academic high school. Next year, grade 10, I played on the senior team, on the varsity team. Like did all right, played well. I mean, most guys were older. I grew from, I want to say like 5'11" to like 6'2", and that just kind of gave me, I don't want to say hope, but I was like, oh, like I always wanted to get to like 6'1" when I was growing up. I was like, if I just get to 6'1", I was like Steph Curry 6'3", if I get 6'1", I can play D1. So once I got there, I was like, okay, now I don't have any excuses.
When COVID hit, I think it was right after the end of his grade 10 basketball season. So he didn't play his entire grade 11 year.
Early COVID, I was going to like the park with my mom, and my mom would just rebound for me. People were converting like warehouses into little courts, and so I would go and like train there, and you have to go through a back because like not police, but like you weren't allowed to. So if there's like a noise complaint or something, like they could kick you out or whatever. I said when I got my opportunity to play that next summer, I was just like locked in. I was kind of refreshed and had like a fresh mindset on the game, and just like played well right away. And that was kind of like the start of like getting college exposure.
So Xavian's coach from his AAU team, Coach Nikki Davis, approached me one day and said, hey, you know, does Xavian have any desire to go Ivy League? Like, has that been a thought? And I said, well, of course, right? That was something, academics was something that was very valued and prioritized in our home. Princeton
knew me, like Coach McConnell. He was like texting me before he ever even saw me actually play. Like I didn't really even have footage to send him. I was sending him like clips of like my outdoor like pickup runs, which like in hindsight is ridiculous. I should ask him what he thought of that, but like looking back on it now, like that's crazy, but that's like all I had at the time. They kind of like swooped in super early because I literally went down, played one tournament, Peach Jam, in like the span of 2 weeks, and they offered me right away. It's like they probably saw like 1 or 2 games, and they offered me, they're like, oh, you gotta commit this week. I was like, okay, sure. So then I just committed right away. I never got ranked in high school. I didn't like make the BioSteel game, which is like the McDonald's game, but for Canada. And there's guys that weren't even like D1 commits in the game, so I just thought that was ridiculous. I mean, all that offer stuff and rankings is like really, people always says growing up to me, and I didn't really bag it, but like it really is meaningless. Like you just need one school to believe in you. Yeah, this is Whitman. Everyone's eating right now. All the regular students, athletes, everyone's in there. It's kind of a zoo, so I guess we'll see if our teammates are there. I don't know. To be honest, like lunch, like I just try and get calories in. Like I don't really worry about what I'm eating too much. It's the same life. Like you can see, no one's gonna stop me around here. Like, but I would say for sure, like in town, like when we go into like public, like not students, a lot more people recognize me.
I want 44. You're gonna be
Afterwards, you're gonna be tired. Yeah. All right, let's bank 70.
70.
Right in the middle.
Xaivian Lee is probably leading the embarrassing stories chart.
I got played a lot.
We had 10-day plans, and Valentine's Day was coming around.
Shot down out of the sky.
Shot down terribly, and it's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do?
Charge it to the game?
Yeah. I have faith in him. He'll bounce back.
Hopefully, hopefully. You know, every time basketball goes well, you get humbled in different ways. You get humbled in a lot of different ways, so. I'm not gonna lie, I was an academic in high school. I was really locked in on school in high school. Like, I was studying hella. Yeah, like, studied a lot for my SAT, studied a lot for all my classes, got straight. We did like up to 100 in Canada. It's not like GPA, it's like your average is just at 100. Straight 90s, doing super well. Now I get here and it's like everyone's so crazy. I just try my best in school now. I'm not too worried about my grades. But yeah, we get good grades though. Don't trip. All right. We have a lot of readings. Obviously, we can't do them all, so if I'm really in a rush, I read headings and the last sentence each paragraph, and then just kind of like skim for keywords. Like, it sounds funny, but it's a good strategy. I'm telling you, it's a good strategy. I have no idea what's going on in that class, like, at all. But I just kind of sit there. The spelling of my name?
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. I asked my mom. My mom just said that she just kind of like freestyled it and got to a bucket. She told me that she liked the name Xavier, but then like want like to do a spin on it. Oh, this guy just sent me a mix.
Yeah. Oh, tight.
It's kind of hard. I remember when I was younger, like I used to always watch like Sharif Cooper mixes, Trey Mann mixes, like all those things, and like no one would ever film us play. No one would ever film us play. The one thing that kind of made me realize like I'm starting to like get like make it in terms of that was like when like there'd be so many people come to like film our games, like post like videos and stuff. I do it everywhere. It's my indicator if I bounce that day or not. If I make it, I know I'm gonna play well. If I don't, then I actually missed it. The first time he recorded, I got rim stuff so hard. So I was like, I promise you I have more bounce than this. And I hit like the next one. The problem with my dunk package is like, it's only layup lines. Like it doesn't transfer into games. But my dunk package, like I have a good like dunk contest dunk package, I think. Windmill, between the legs, I got twice in my life. At the March Madness one, I got once. And just at PAX one time I got once. I got like this one. And then behind the back's next. But I always miss it. But it looks cool like when they like cut it at the beginning of the mix. So that was like, I was on the package, but like it's in the mix bag. In all the mixes I have and stuff, I always do the same dunks. So I wrote down like different dunks for me to do or work on. And then I wrote down some celebrations for me to do. I don't even know if I can really talk on it because I want y'all to see the clips. It's kind of bad if I say it and then do it. It's gonna like look worse. But you'll see. Definitely you'll see when you're like, oh, when you see it in a mix or when you see it me do it or whatever, that's what I was talking about right now.
Princeton growl their way into round two as they upset the number 2 seed Wildcats of Arizona.
No, I played at the 12-minute too. At the very beginning, man, I remember. I was trying to get a shot at, but nothing was open, so I couldn't shoot. I just remember I got jammed. Like the first time I had the ball in transition, I got jammed and like he almost stole from me. I was like, damn, that would have been so embarrassing. And I was just trying to get, you see one go through. Before like the shoot around day before the game, there's like an open media session and nobody was in our locker room. There was one dude that talked to Tosan, and then one dude that came up to me and asked me about a player on Arizona because he was like also Canadian. I was like, oh, I'm tough, but it was just like a guy asked me about their player just because I was also Canadian. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with me. What we could have been, oh, we tried everything. My goal when I got there was to just like get minutes, and I did that. It was just a learning experience for me because I knew we had a lot of older guys, like Tosan, Ryan, and those guys were kind of like our key guys at the time. And like, I'm not going to come in as like a 18-year-old and just take all their minutes. They've been doing this for 4 years. These are all my teammates in practice who like I know how good they are, and I know I'm like that good too. So I was like, going to next year, like I want to show that I can compete at the highest levels too. Just all the success and all the motivation too. It was just like really good for me going into kind of that summer, into that spring. That spring was the hardest I ever worked in my life.
As soon as the season was over, literally the next day we were back, he was in the gym. And then our conversations from then on were, okay, we've been to the tournament, we've seen these kind of teams, we know how good we can be. And he immediately was like, I need to get stronger, I need to get faster, I need to improve my defense, all these things. So, you know, as soon as that season ended, his mind was already on, how can I develop, how can I be the guy that's playing 35 minutes in the tournament, how can I guard the best player, things like that.
Oh my God. It's hard to get in that Canada basketball kind of stream, and I never did anything growing up like Canada basketball related. I never made like the provincial team or anything, so I didn't really have any connections to that. But fortunately, Coach Meeks gave me the invite to the tryout, and then I kind of performed there, made like the tentative team, like the squad of 15. They were taking 15 to Europe because we did like a whole tour before that of like training camp and games and stuff. And that was like right after March Madness. So as I alluded to earlier, like during that spring, I was just working my ass off. Big shout out to my boy Lay. I don't know if this will make the video, but my boy Lay, he was 2 classes older than me at Princeton, and he would be in the gym with me all the time. He didn't even play when we were playing at Princeton, but like he worked so hard, and like we would just be in the gym damn near all night, just on the gun, talking about life and stuff. And then going into FIBA, I had that like starting spot. I think I was like 14-4, which is like good, obviously. Led the team, but like it wasn't like I was going super crazy. In the moment, I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I was nice. Just kind of like gave me that confidence because we were playing guys that are like projected lottery picks, guys who like went in this year's draft and stuff. And playing all of them, I was like, I'm right here with them. I'm like producing more than them, so like why not me, kind of. So that kind of gave me the confidence going into my sophomore year. I can remember 9 a.m. working out with Xaivian, and yeah, we were getting in work, but it was also about the mental aspect. So I remember him saying, you know, I want to average this much. I want to get 6 or 7 rebounds a game. I want to be all conference. I want to be able to, you know, play extended minutes, all these things. I'm definitely a big proponent of like manifestation and like visualization. That was something that was like taught to me from a very young age. Believing before you like achieve your goals and kind of seeing yourself there. So in my mind, like I'm always, even when I'm in the gym, like late night. I mean, to be honest, you just gotta believe you're the main character. Like if you're not the main character in your own story, then nothing's gonna happen. So just shooting around, like I imagine myself in those like big situations. I imagine like what the crowd feels like. I imagine like how I'm gonna feel when I hit the shot, how I'm gonna feel when I'm running back on defense, what it's gonna be like running back into a timeout huddle. So I definitely believe in like visualizing your success before it happens, and I feel like that's the only way to properly prepare yourself. So definitely like in my free time, I think about like my goals a lot. I think about like what it's gonna feel like. Like I try and imagine myself in those positions so that when I'm close to it, I kind of feel like I've been there before. I remember one person posted like top 10 sophomores to look out for a breakout year or something, and I was on the list. I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. At the time, I didn't really get that much recognition, which is cool. I didn't really do much to deserve it, so I was like, don't worry about it. I'm about to get off this year, and then we'll see what happens.
And scoring, Xaivian Lee. How does he do it? At the foul line. Now Lee. 3 defenders there, but somehow gets it to drop. And it's an and one for Xaivian Lee.
I think everyone loves an underdog story, and Princeton has, even though it's been a very historical team, it has not been to the caliber of something like Duke or North Carolina with their reputation and the prestige they bring in the basketball world.
We were 2 or 3 in the preseason poll. After last season, you know, we lost a guy to the NBA. We lost a few other players who graduated, and they were incredible players. So, you know, early in the season, you're trying to find, you know, who's going to score, who's going to guard the best players, you know, who's going to kind of fill those shoes from the previous group of seniors. The first game of the season, we played Rutgers, and I remember, you know, it was a big game for us. We haven't played Rutgers in about 10 years. It was a neutral site right here in New Jersey, so the game was packed. It was, you know, there's a lot of hype coming from last season. There's a play, I'm sure we can find the clip. He kind of goes coast to coast and finishes right at the rim, right against the 6'11" guy. And I think that moment was kind of a mental, you know, a mental hurdle he got over. That was like, hey, like I can go compete with the best guys in the country. Because I didn't really know how good we were until we played our first game. Because like we're just playing each other in practice, so like it's hard to really tell how good you actually are as a team. So when we went out and beat them, I was like, okay, we got some.
Furman team. Lee driving, scoop layup is in.
And Xaivian was huge for us. He scored a lot of points early in the year and eventually started drawing a lot of attention from defenses. You could tell teams were game planning and being very scout specific with him. So, you know, eventually we start to kind of build our identity around him and a couple of our other guys. But early on, he was a big spark for us, and you know, teams had to double team him at times, had to put a lot of attention on him. We played some really tough games on the road early on in the season, and I think, you know, road games, when you're the guy, you have the ball in your hands a lot. Those are really tough moments. And some of the guards on those teams are guys that you see, you know, that are doing pre-draft stuff.
Our first 3 games were like the toughest games, like the best opponents, pretty much. We played Rutgers, Hofstra, and Duquesne. And then before you know it, you're like 5-0 at Old Dominion, 6-0 at Bucknell, whatever it was. I think it was Northeastern, actually. But yeah, kind of just, we got rolling right away, and then all of a sudden, we're like 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. And like a lot of those games, we probably should have lost, to be honest. A lot of those games could go either way, but we were just fortunate enough to kind of make those plays down the stretch. So it's important not to like look at what your overall record is and just look at the next game, I think.
I think maybe, you know, 5 or 6 games into the season, right, we were undefeated, and you start seeing a couple videos come out, you know, with some of his highlights, and you know, starting to blow up a little bit.
BR Hoops posted me, because I remember seeing, it was after the Drexel game was when they posted me, because I remember seeing like a week prior, they posted like the Oklahoma guard, because he was getting off. And I was like, I'm averaging similar stuff, but they're not gonna post the Ivy League kid, which is fine, like it's not that deep. But I was like, dang, it'd be nice. And then literally like a day later, I was like, I opened my phone, and first thing I saw was like a BR Hoops, so I was like, that's tough. And then kind of after that, like, it just led to like a snowball effect, and then just like everyone was like posting me all of a sudden. It was after that one spin move against Drexel. Yeah, I would say the Northeastern game was the first time I had 30. And that was like, that game, just everything was falling for me. I was like getting back cuts, left, right, center, doing like simple moves, and they were just like working for some reason. So that was cool. And that was our first home game. I actually remember right before that game, like the day before, we did like a heavy ass lift, like a bunch of cleans and stuff. I was like, JD, why are we lifting so heavy? We have a game tomorrow. And I remember being sore going into the game. I was like, I don't know why we lifted like that. And I had the best game of my career so far. So I was like, all right, we can lift day before games now.
Xaivian Lee.
Once we got through the non-conference, I think he kind of continued to gain that momentum.
Obviously, the Harvard game was cool. That was kind of when it like really blew up the second time. And then that was like the first time I played Malik. And kind of had the Ivy League popping a little bit from like outside the Ivy League, I feel like.
Difference in this game, Derek.
Lee with the crossover and the 3. Xaivian Lee. Looks like he's operating a yo-yo out there sometimes. Down to 4. Lee to the lane. Scoop layup is in. Wow. Lee creates space for Mack and drills a 3. Now a Tigers possession. Lee creating and adding 30 points to the ledger. Lee was a high step in there before he drilled the 3.
Getting antsy as soon as Lee gets the ball in a one-on-one situation.
He's got it again and drills it again. Xaivian Lee having himself a day. A career-high 33 for the sophomore out of Canada.
That game, I think he had 30 points, was flirting with a triple-double, had a bunch of assists and rebounds. And that game, I remember a video coming out of a highlight just from that game. He had, you know, some step backs, some pull-ups in transition. And from then on, it was just like, it blew up.
tap in with my boy Xaivian Lee out of Princeton. Hey, bro really about a bucket. Late shot clock, got the switch, snatchy. Harden, step back, give me 3. And he's a bag boy too, let's not get it twisted. Hold on, where you going? Tween, step back, give me 3, dummy, get it out the net.
We had a few sold out games this year. We have a pretty big gym here, sold out games for the first time in quite a while. That's when you started noticing, you know, us going on the road, those places were sold out. And then here, you know, it was awesome at Princeton for that community to come out. So many kids with Xaivian Lee posters. And from then on, you know, everything just continued to kind of blow up.
I think he's definitely one of the craftiest and most fun player to watch whenever he's on the court. Super skilled. Even though he might not be the tallest or the strongest player on the court, he definitely plays with lots of confidence, lots of charisma. I think people can look at that and feel inspired. And like even when I watch him in practice or in game, like I feel inspired. I want to just go home and pull up shots.
Yeah, people tend to gravitate towards my play style, I think, just because it kind of feels almost like a park game sometimes. And it's hard to find a balance between that, especially at higher levels, and like sticking to like, you know, not playing too crazy. So a lot of people tell me I play like I'm high. Take that how you want it.
The Ivy League is different than almost everywhere in the country. You have to take pride in the classroom. You know, you have to go to class, you have to study. You don't have somebody holding your hand through these things. You do 4 years of both things. It's truly the student-athlete experience.
Since as far as I can remember, he's been pretty good at, you know, handling his work himself. Like he doesn't really complain, or, you know, he just knows that he has to get it done and he has to find the time. But there is a bit of an infamous story of him and Caden Pierce at the hotel the night before Sweet 16 doing calculus. People were just outraged by the fact that the night before they're playing in the Sweet 16, they have to get a calculus assignment in. The professors aren't paying attention to what you're doing. They know what the deadline is for their assignment, and you're going to get it done, or you're not.
I'm trying to download Python. I don't even know what that is. I think I'm doing hard work, and you look at what I'm trying to answer. How do you become a Buddha? I got a little academic hack for y'all. Academic hack. Use M dashes in your writing. Most underrated way to sound smarter. You're writing something, want to add an M dash. Hard. That's like the biggest thing I developed in my writing bag the past couple months here. That's actually what I do. That's right. It makes you sound way smarter if you use an M dash. Yeah, it makes you sound way smarter. Connects your thoughts better. Makes you sound like you're like adding, like it's fire. I'm glad you agree with me though. I'm going crazy. Like 450 words response. I know. I'm on one. It's a lot of writing though. Like this whole time we were talking about cribs in Texas, I wrote a bunch. I still need to like go through it.
How many M dashes you got?
Only one. One M dash. But well placed, really well placed. After shoot around we had a walkthrough, which is basically we just went through like plays and stuff like that, and then we showered, got ready, went to eat a team dinner at like a pizza place in town, like the main one, and then got back to my room, did a little bit of work. Oh, I stopped by, like I walked through from where we're about to come, finished like half of my work in my common room, and then since then, we've just been at first hanging out. Hey, I remember exactly when the last time it snowed, January 14th. Why are you doing that? Because of the day after Dartmouth.
Honeydew, you're a honeydew guy?
Yeah, I'm about to put y'all on, bro. This honeydew is so good. Most underrated thing. I'm telling you guys, honeydew, like, I don't know about ice cream, maybe ice cream. It's good. You ever had a Malona?
The popsicle thing?
Yeah. That's fire. Got done with everything for the day. Just about to go back to my room. I'm not sure. Maybe watch a little TV. And yeah, call it a night.
Oh, the Brown game. I was crashing out during that game. Oh my gosh. I can't even talk about that game just because there's a lot of personal stuff going on during that game. My teammates will know what I'm talking about.
My name's Zio Kim, and I live in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go to the Pennington School here in Central Jersey. I think I first heard about him like early on in the season after he had a good game against Drexel, I'm pretty sure. It's huge. Like, I played basketball as well, and you know, just seeing that he can make it onto a big stage like the Ivy League, it just pushes me to keep going. Just growing up, like, playing basketball, like, you don't see guys around me that look like me, and so seeing someone who can do what he does and just like changing like the perception that people have of you being an Asian American hooper as a guard, like, I think it's huge. Xaivian, he's going to continue to change people's perspective, open people's eyes, and, you know, hopefully that'll open up doors for me as well. You're tough, keep going, man.
What an unbelievable moment for Princeton basketball. Back guard as he creased off from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Number 1, Xaivian Lee.
But that was a bad game for me. I remember I was like yelling in the first half. Do you remember that? Were you there for that? Hey, fudge. Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff going on that stretch, and that just kind of like I crashed out.
Timeout, Princeton. This will be a 30-second timeout. As that is the end of the first half, our score, Brown University 30, the Princeton Tigers 25.
I mean, as a team, we got done. That's what matters. We got done. I had like 17-5 still, so whatever.
At any home games or even some of the away games, there are always crowds of people and kids chasing after Zavier and waiting for his signature, wanting a picture with him. And he's always happy to hang out with them after the game for a long period of time because he really enjoys it, and I think he also believes it's meaningful. So one instance that I remember is during halftime, some kids came up behind our bench and was taking pictures of Xaivian's water bottle because it has #1 and Lee written on it, and the kid was taking photo and sending it to his friends like it's like the best thing he's ever seen. I think that just really speaks to the impact that Xaivian had on the community, especially the kids, being a figure of inspiration and really being an icon for a lot of these young people and kids as they look at what they can do on the court and off the court.
My name is Brandon and I am 10 years old. It's like, it helps you get through all the hard times because like you can always know someone who can help you get better and knows the same experience as you. And it's like, you're the same almost. Keep practicing, get better, and I hope you become an NBA star one day.
It wasn't that long ago that I felt like I was in their shoes, going to like 905 games, Raptors games, even some like Canadian University games. Like I remember I went to a Western versus Brock game, which are 2 Canadian schools, when I was in grade 7 maybe. And I just felt like they were so much older than me, and like I was like, how could I compete at this level? And then like all of a sudden I'm at like a higher level doing the same stuff, but I feel like the same kid I was then. So seeing those kids, I just can kind of like put myself in their shoes just because I felt like I was there like not so long ago. So I try and be, nice to them, be a good role model, because when I was that age, like any sort of interaction would I would be thinking about it a lot, or like kind of, you live your whole life, but if like a fan or someone meets you, like they only have those 5-10 seconds to like judge you forever almost. So I try and be pleasant to anyone I meet or whatever. My mom's role? She's definitely like a good role model for me because her life is very, she got everything like under control, and like she's very organized. So I try and, I don't know, she's always telling me how I should, tighten up pretty much. So she definitely is a big influence on me.
But we also count our blessings, and we know, as we know from the experience with COVID, life is short, right? Things can come, things can go, and so it's important just to try to really appreciate the moments when they come. I look at him and he's Xaivian, right? So sometimes it's hard to see the grandness of the situation, because I look at him and he's still the person that I speak to just about everyday things.
Like scout.
That's kind of what it's next.
Yeah. All right, this is the crib. These are my roommates, Sean, Haas. I live with 3 other people. It's a big room. Kind of like Harry Potter goes down. That's a crib. This is my room. I got a cactus here because my mom gave it to me, and it says, I don't know, keep growing under bad circumstances. I don't know, something like that. This is my room. Got the March Madness. Someone sent me this rug. I didn't even watch, I don't know, maybe it's Demon Slayer? Demon Slayer, yeah, I didn't really watch it, but it's cool. I like Hunter x Hunter. What else do I watch? Your Lie in April. Underrated. That's where I do my work. It's a little messy. Yeah, very messy. My roommate in high school drew that, and it was hard, so I put it up. My mom got me that. That's Toronto. Over brick, I got hella candles. They're actually not allowed here, so supposedly it could burn down, so hopefully I don't do that. I started wearing jeans this year. Big improvement in my life. Big improvement.
As opposed to white sweats?
I used to only wear sweats. I still mostly wear sweats, but like in the fall I started popping out some jeans. I thought it was tough. It wasn't tough. No, they're cool. They're cool. I will say, I thought this was tough because you say, who's next? You got over the summer, this is out of character. I got really into UFC. I'm really into UFC. Like, it's actually weird. I haven't got like the game for it yet. Like, I started playing UFC just cause like, I don't know, I thought like the mentality was tough, like being an athlete, like not losing, like betting on yourself, training, all that. Like, I thought it was really hard mentally, and like, I don't know, I just resonated with it. And then started like, the trash talk's cool too. So I got into that and like would watch hella fights, lots of fights. And then kind of like made like when I came to school, I was locked in, like, I need to like kill, I need like da-da-da. So then I feel like that helped me actually. Oh, this is when we beat Rutgers. They like made like a Princeton in the New Jersey. And our captain wore it like in warms. He thought this shit was hard, but it was not hard. Oh, I got my Drake poster. This is the last thing I'll show. I had a bunch, I had so many posters up in here. But I took all of them down. I had to take the Drake one out, which hurt me, but it's just like I had to be cleaner, you know. I don't want people coming here thinking I was weird, so I had to chill out. Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
Derek Jones, play-by-play announcer for ESPN and Princeton basketball. I think what he's doing right now is so inspirational for potential basketball players everywhere who are just starting out. That's the coolest thing about this, is that there's somebody probably watching this game at some point tonight, or in previous weeks, or in the previous weeks before that, or coming up after the game tonight. They're going to watch him and say, hey, I want to pattern my game after Xaivian Lee, and that's amazing.
Is you guys' favorite player Xaivian?
Yeah.
Talk to me. What's your favorite thing about him?
His handsome mustache. He should be.
Yeah, we lost to Yale at Yale in a game where we were up a lot, and then they kind of like pulled through at the end. Their crowd was good. I think at this point they're like one game ahead of us in the standings, so like it was a big game for us at home. We were tired, we were coming off a back-to-back, but they're also coming off a back-to-back, and they're on the road, so they're even more tired than us. I was like, we better win this. I don't care if I play bad tomorrow, bad yesterday. I don't care if I had a terrible week. Gonna figure it out. A bunch of people were there, so I was like, hopefully I do good. Hopefully we win. Completely different energy in the Brown game.
It's time to meet the starting five for Yale, Princeton.
name's Aaron. I'm a junior at Princeton right now.
I'm Kian. I'm also a junior.
This is my first in person. I've seen the highlights.
Yeah, this is also my first in person game, but I see his clips online.
I think it's just like nice to be able to like watch basketball. Like I like to play basketball and seeing like, oh, here's a guy who's really good. I mean, like kind of looks like me. Like that's cool to like have that. I feel like there's more Asian athletes, instead of like, oh, here's like the first to do it, then you'll start to see like more and more people just like have confidence to be like, oh, I'm an Asian person. Like I'm an athlete first, and like I just happen to be Asian and I have like pride in that culture. But it's not necessarily like having to be the first, because like you just see like more and more people.
Final score, Princeton 73, Yale 62. Big dunk to help seal the victory. Number 3, Caden Pierce. Once again, fans, your final score, your Princeton Tigers 73, the Yale Bulldogs 62.
Yeah, there we go.
That one's hard. Hey!
SB, I want to know where.
Why? This one's hard. There is a photo. It says PK Spray.
Alright, everybody in? Alright, up here.
Give me a 1v1. I just played a game. We can play if you want.
No, they said it's
He's scared. Another handshake?
Oh my God.
You can't ask me to do it.
My fault.
It's so normal for everybody else.
I just made 3, 2, yo, what's up? Me and Xaivian Lee just making our handshake right here. This is what I'm thinking. Here we go. It's fire. It's fire.
I'm still waiting on that Drake cosign. I was like, he wore a Princeton jersey. I was like, bro, perfect opportunity. But maybe he don't know I'm from Toronto. I literally live like right near him. My school was like right next to his house, like on the bridle path. So I was like, perfect. Didn't reach out, that's cool. Still waiting on it.
Just the 4th loss of the season for the Tigers, and it comes at the worst possible time. Brown moves on to the final tomorrow, noon Eastern, 2 p.m.
I mean, it was tough. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses or something, but I was like very sick that whole weekend. So it's just kind of tough not being able to. It was like the one game where I felt like I couldn't really do anything, just like from a physical perspective. So it was just tough kind of that happening during that stretch of the season. And then hats off to Brown, they played their ass off too. Keno played great. They're all hitting shots, so I mean, they brought their A game that day, and we didn't have much to respond with. Personally, it was just it was very unfortunate, but you know, obviously it's very sad going out like that, but it happens sometimes, it's part of the game. I try not to dwell on it too much. I mean, that was tough for me, but it was definitely a learning experience too. Like, it can't always go your way. So it was like, at the end of the day, it was definitely sad, but it happens. I get those comments like when we win too. I get those comments when we lose any sort of game. Kind of like whenever we do anything, kind of I feel like I kind of take the credit or the blame for it. And you can't have it, you gotta have it both ways. So, I mean, it's just something that comes with the game, so I'm not too worried about it. I try not to get too hung up on it or anything. Just use it as like motivation, if anything. I only took like a day or two off just to recover from being sick. And then I kind of got back to the gym, and then from there I was just trying to figure out, like, pick an agent. I obviously know about LEESANITY and stuff, but like, I haven't really felt it in a while. Like, when was it, like 2012, 13? The only thing I vividly remember was when he hit the buzzer beater against the Raptors, because I was watching that. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Step up, Jose. Everyone was like cheering for him, even in Toronto when he did that, just because I guess it kind of like transcended just like a regular season game.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy Lin.
I'm Xaivian Lee.
We just had a couple good days of working out. Xaivian came all the way from Toronto, so big shout out to him. Good to have you, bro.
Appreciate y'all having me out here, man. My first time in the Bay.
Kind of a more special workout because we got Xaivian in town. And thank you, AMAZN HQ, for setting this up. Xaivian is at Princeton, all Ivy, first team. So really good player, and he still has years left. After working out today, I mean, we were all on the sidelines. Like, even my teammate, who just won Finals MVP and is a highly accomplished pro, and my trainer were just like, there's nothing you can't do in terms of like on the court skill set. So everybody was blown away. Even the guys trying to guard you, they're like, he's 20. Like, I was blown away at the workout. Like, it was amazing. If I come off this way, I'm pausing right here. You guys can go this way or this way, but you're trying to get back in front. Any which way, just get back in front, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Good shot, 3. Yes, sir, get in there, 5-1. So now you're gonna get to your angles where you're kind of stopping and you're getting wide, you know what I mean? So less north-south, you're not gonna work against that length. You gotta go get lateral.
Hey, you gotta find a way to pump it.
Just move.
When LEESANITY was happening, I was 2012? I think I was like 7 or 8, so I mean.
I almost forget sometimes, like, that was an incredible, like, that was a crazy, incredible time. But, I'm not always trying to live in the past, so sometimes, but it is important sometimes to kind of go back and appreciate it, so. It's one of those things where it's just like undrafted, Asian, like on a rookie minimum, like, I didn't really have that, like, all right, I made it.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that, like, I didn't even sign a big contract or anything, so it really felt like I was still fighting for my life. And I do kind of regret not slowing down in the middle of it and just enjoying it. And like, I do hope that as you have your sights on the NBA, you could still like be like, dang, I'm gonna be really present in my junior year. Like, I'm gonna enjoy every game, like just take it slow, internally, right? Like when you're going, you're gonna work, you're gonna grind, you're gonna do everything at the speed you need to, but like internally, can you just take time just to sit back, chill in the dorm room and be like, yeah, I just dropped 25 on whatever, let me enjoy it real quick, so.
Yeah, I mean, because for me watching that, I was like, it kind of felt like my year last year was like, not a mini version of that, but just kind of stuff happening so quickly. It's like, you're the same person you were 2 weeks ago, but like the whole world thinks something different of you all of a sudden, and like that's just on a greater scale. So I mean, I could kind of relate to probably what you're feeling, just probably like 10 times smaller, but like I could understand what that kind of felt like, just trying to not lose sight of everything, but like trying to keep the balance of it. So that's definitely a hard thing to do.
Woo! Woo! I need that one, except I'm too old to get that one now. So it sounds like there's not too much, you're not dealing with too much Asian hate or like the racist stuff, or is that still?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like hate so far necessarily. I mean, definitely like stereotypes and stuff, but I mean, not too much like in your face, kind of straight discrimination, I feel like.
Okay. Shout out to the Ivy League. You all are making progress.
Wow, it wasn't like that when you were hooping there?
No, heck no. When I was out there, it was wild. It was crazy. Ethnic hate. It was growing up, it was not as bad, and in the NBA it wasn't as bad, but in college was by far the worst. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that stuff's not going on.
I've been lucky. I haven't really experienced that much stuff in my, like the only thing I get called you. That's the only thing I really like hear, like Jeremy Lin, that's the only thing I hear. I'm like, all right.
If they're going under, we got to make them pay a little bit more. Either you shoot it or wait for the rescreen. But right now we're going under, they're coming under, and they're just getting right back in front. And then we're just using talent to beat them. Yep. Nice.
Good luck.
Yes, sir. Good finish. And one. Good finish. You know, you kind of left for a little bit to do the NBA draft, flying all over the country, doing a bunch of workouts. At the same time, you had school going on. What was that experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was arguably one of the coolest experiences of my life, just kind of seeing how the NBA works from the inside and almost being a part of it. Like, you're right there at the doorstep. So I thought it was cool. I mean, for me, it was tough because I kind of went in with I knew I wasn't really going to stay in it. I kind of went in with the idea that it was just almost like data collecting so I could get ready for when I was really ready. But I think that's dangerous because if you have that mindset, you're not going to last. So I had to kind of psych myself into like believing I was going there because everyone else there is fighting for their life pretty much. So for me, it was like I had to get ready to the point where I was going, but at the same time, kind of make sure I was still getting my like work done. It was during reading week, and then exams was kind of the first 2 weeks of it. So I mean, I had to come back and take my exam. So
how did you do on your exams?
Better than expected.
Okay, there you go.
I'll say that much, yeah.
You guys want good grades, enter the NBA draft. I could do that. Let me see the ball.
Hey!
Young guys. What it must be to be young.
I feel that's like shit.
I'm excited for today. I'm a little sore though.
White shirt and gray shirt are both former NBA players, so they're really good. So you got to be up on a pick and roll. Same with Goku in the black shirt, you got to be up on a pick and roll. They have a pure rim roller, and then the rest are all shooters. So I think it's just low man, like weak side low man, just be in and just rotate out. My biggest advice to you is just be authentic. Stay true to yourself. At the end of it all, everybody projecting an expectation onto you, there is a genuine responsibility when people look up to you. So you don't want to squander that, but you don't want to be fake, and you don't want to just feel the pressure of having to appease everybody else. At the end of it all, you got to be authentic. You got to be the best version of yourself, and you got to do it for yourself too. Because if all you're trying to do is be something for somebody else, especially all these people that you don't even know and you'll never meet, that's too much of a cost. Be authentic, take your time, and do what feels right to you, and just don't overextend yourself. Like I kind of always did so much for my fans early on. I always overextended myself, and then I got to a place of burnout. And when I got to a place of burnout, I couldn't take care of anybody, and I couldn't be anything for anybody. That's something I learned the hard way many times. So.
For sure. That's good advice. I don't know how to say that. That's good advice. I definitely got a taste of it when I was like imagining myself watching this year's draft.
The Denver Nuggets select Ryan Dunn from the University of Virginia.
One of my friends from Perk, Ryan, he just got drafted. I think it was like 28th, first round. So I was like, I would literally watch that entire night of that draft just to see if he went first round. And just like hearing his name get called, it kind of like gave me goosebumps almost.
Anytime you see someone who you feel looks like you achieving success in an industry or in a sport or in a field where they're not quote unquote expected to have success, I think that that's always inspiring. And I think that, you know, for young kids who maybe didn't believe that they might be successful at basketball because they're not, you know, 6'8", they're not 200 plus pounds, they're not, you know, extraordinarily fast, or, you know, if they see someone being able to have success that maybe they wouldn't expect to have success, I think that that can be a great source of motivation.
Just being like the first to do something is always really good because it kind of like opens the floodgates. I feel like just recently with just Canada basketball in general, it kind of just blossomed. So hopefully the same thing can happen for like, you know, just Asian people in general almost. I mean, just seeing people succeed before you, I think is like the best motivator.
There hasn't really been another prospect like in the college basketball scene for some time. I think people look at that and take inspiration from it. He definitely has the talent, the potential, and the attitude to work hard. So I personally would like to see him be in the league one day. That would be for me almost a dream come true.
If basketball is in his heart, which I believe it is, I want him to be able to take it to the extent that he can take it, whatever that may be. And I don't want to put a tag on that. I don't want to say it's NBA, I don't want to say it's pro, I don't want to, you know, I just want him to be able to pursue that passion as far as he can pursue it.
As you know, start to move towards the next level, be confident. I think a lot of times, and we talk back to, you know, when you were recruited, not a lot of people, right, gave you a scholarship or you know, called you back or those things, but you got here and you're here for a reason, and it's going to be the same thing when you get to the next level.
You have to keep surprising people, right? Often you feel that limits are placed on you, but the only real limit that's important is the limit you place on yourself. And there's so many things in this life that you can't control, but what you can control is your steadfast belief in yourself. You know, you can control the things that are within you, but not the things that are outside of you. So that's something that we try to hold on to and try to remember, particularly as you go through the ups and downs. You know, what's most important is like what you're keeping in your core.
I mean, to be honest, you just gotta believe you're the main character. Like, if you're not the main character in your own story, then nothing's gonna happen. So, you know, you gotta find like your thing, and if you love it, then believe in yourself, because no one else is gonna believe in you if you don't. So, I mean, my mom always tells me to just like stay the course, like live yours. Like, my success is not gonna be the same as your success, which is not gonna be the same as someone else's success. Like, we all have different definitions. So whatever like kind of path you're on, just like embrace it, be grateful for what you have, and just like live yours, you know what I mean? Like live your own life. My name's Xaivian Lee, shout out to AMAZN HQ.